What's up guys, it's Mega giving you another Duelist Link Evolution. We're back guys, and I'm giving you a different deck that's not on the list because I've been busy for the last couple of weeks, and I've built a deck and I've been play testing with my friend F and a few people online, and it's just evolved and it's come to what we're doing now. It's kind of like a trickstar combo. It doesn't really rely a lot on the trickstars because it only has like 5 trickstar cards in the whole deck. Well, 4, but we have two Candina. But it really relies on that. We bring out the Rainbow Neo side, and also using the Jet Synchron element to basically get a free stage Borrowload Savage and a Herald of the Arclight just off one Jet Synchron. We're also running another Omni Negate in the hands of Cyber Dragon Infinity, and all you need to summon that is an instant fusion and a quick draw synchron. So it's actually very kind of a decent deck to play, like very combo related, so obviously it can struggle, but it's just very fun to play. If you're struggling to make this deck or any deck shown so far, check out the card hub. Maybe I'll tell you if a card is in this game or not. It will tell you when to find it, such as campaign, challenge mode, or card packs, and that does include the new cards via the update and day. That's in the description down below, and along my Twitch, where if I try I stream if I have time, and we'll just basically play this game and other games such as Divinity 2, which I'm playing at the moment. And with that guys, let's get into the video. Okie guys, we are running 3 Garnets in the whole deck, and that is Elemental Hero Neos, Rainbow Dragon, and Mecha Phantom Beast Olion. Now, Neos and Rainbow Dragon aren't kind of like Garnets, because if you draw into them, they can still kind of be useful, because Neos Fusion does activate, or can still activate, even if the monster's in your hand or deck. So that's not really a problem. The only one that's kind of a Garnet and you really don't realistically want to see is Olion, because if it's in your opening hand, you can't just summon it to the field with Auroradon enabled to bring out your free stage Borrowload and Herald of the Arclight. So like I say, Neos, you're basically just going to send it to the graveyard with Neos Fusion to bring out the Rainbow Neos. We'll get to him in a little bit, but that's particularly the only reason why you use Neos. And then we're running 2 copies of Ash Blossom. It's a hand trap, stops your opponent from sending a card from the deck to the graveyard, special summoning from the deck, or add a card from the deck to the hand. So whatever happens in the deck, Ash Blossom just shuts it down. It's limited to 2. And then 1 copy of Despot 001. Very, very decent card, guys. It is needed for the combo, and it's you don't particularly care if this guy is in your hand or hand, field, or graveyard, pretty much, because you can still do the combo even regardless of where he is. So if he's in your hand or the deck, you can just special summon him with Helpy Fibrax. If he's just in the graveyard, when you play Auroradon and Auroradon's ability activates, he resurrects from the graveyard. So like I say, you don't particularly care where this guy particularly is. And his effect is, if 2 or more machine type monsters are special summoned at the same time, you can special summon him from the graveyard. That's why I say when you play Auroradon's ability, he just resurrects himself, and then that's just vital to get out your Herald of the Arclight. And then 3 copies of Gamma Seal. It's a kaiju, comes in handy to get around an Avamax, Borrowload Savage, Cyber Dragon Infinity. I'm trying to think of some other good ones. Chaos Max, any tricky card that like it says can't be targeted, can't be destroyed, or Omni negates in itself, it just gets around them. And that's particularly the reason why you run in the Gamma Seal. And then onto the main bad boy himself, it is Jet Synchron. Believe it or not, just this one little card can equal a free stage Borrowload Savage Dragon with 4,050 attack points and a Herald of the Arclight, just from summoning this bad boy. So he's a level 1 tuner, and his effect is you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon him from the graveyard, but he's banished when he leaves the field. So if you normal summon this bad boy, you link your way into Link Karibo. You resurrect him by discarding a card, summon out Jet Synchron, then you link away into Helpy Fibrax. Helpy Fibrax either brings out Despot 001 if you haven't got him in your hand or ever, or he's not in the field or graveyard, and then you link away into Auroradon. Auroradon will resurrect the or summon out 3 tokens and resurrect the Despot 001. Use Auroradon's ability, summon out Olion, you go into Borrowload, and then you use the token that Olion will summon with Despot, summon out the Herald, and say all of that explodes just from Jet Synchron. Absolutely incredible. We have cards to search him, and he's just very, very good as well. And also, if you want to, because he's very easy, because he's an effect monster as well, and it's just an easier way. Like if he's in the graveyard and you just want to get out an effect monster to go into Anaconda, or to maybe help you go into like the Link climbs, he's just really easy to go into. And then 2 copies of Mathematician. He's limited to 2, but this guy is just another way to get to Jet Synchron if you do not draw into it. So when this card is normal summoned, you can send a level 4 or lower monster from your deck to the graveyard. So if you want, you can send a Trickstar, because obviously Trickstar Reincarnation does resurrect your monsters. So if you want to get a free monster that way, you'll send a Trickstar. If you want to send a Jet Synchron to the graveyard, so when he's set up on the field, you just discard a card. You can just special summon Jet Synchron, boom, go straight into the Crystalline Halby Firebrack, skipping the Link Crebo, and you can just go off on there doing your combo like you would normally. And then 1 copy of Mecha Phantom Beast O-Lion. Like I say, this card is a Garnet. By any means, you do not want to see it in your hand. If you do, you just have to kind of make up different plays. So if this card leaves the field, you gain a token. So in a little way, if you want, just him and 2 quick draws will equal a Cyber Dragon Infinity, because you'll just discard O-Lion with 1 quick draw, then you'll just sacrifice the token that O-Lion will summon to summon out your other quick draw, and you just go into infinity that way. So it does have some uses if you need it. And it's just vital because O-Lion was special, or Auroradon was special on O-Lion from the deck. That's why you don't want to see him. O-Lion does not special, Auroradon does not special from the hand, it's only the deck. That's why he's a Garnet, that's why I particularly don't want to see it. And then 3 copies of Quick Draw Synchron, kind of like Jet Synchron, it is searchable with tuning. Because it has Synchron in its name. You can special summon this bad boy by sending 1 monster from your hand to the grave. Because it's a tuner, say you don't have that quick draw, but you have, for instance, I don't know, we'll just say Despot, Candina, and quick draw. You could still, you just discard the Despot, summon out quick draw, summon out Candina, and you still can go into Crystalline Needle Fiber and then go into your combo you would normally, just skipping the Jet Synchron. So he does have his uses if you want to do it that way, and also you can just use him with Instant Fusion or another crit draw to go into Infinity. So so he's very decent, and again, because you can special summon him very easy, he's actually very good to go into higher Link plays. And then 1 Rainbow Dragon, just like the Rainbow Neos, you're just using him to just for basically the Neos Fusion, and that's particularly the only reason why you'll ever play it. And then just some Trickstars, guys. We're in 2 copies of Candina. She is limited to 2. When you use normal summons, you get to add a Trickstar card from your deck to your hand. So you search this out Lilybell, which is the main target you'll be seeing. But if you've already got access to Lilybell, you're going to choose the Reincarnation. And believe it or not, just if you summon out Candina, she searches out Lilybell. Just these 2 cards can equal Predator Plant Anaconda. And then Anaconda will play its effect to summon out Rainbow Neo. So just 1 Candina equals Neos, and 1 Jet Synchron equals Borrowload and Herald, which is kind of scary no matter which way round you do it. And with Lilybell, if this card is added from your deck to your hand, except by drawing it in your normal draw phase, you get to special summon it. So that means you can. So that means with this card you can play Upstart Goblin, draw a card. You summon it. If you play with Pot of Desires, you can summon it. It's just absolutely great, and even if you did it with Trickstar Light Stage, it also special summons herself as well, and again, she's just helpful to go into amazing Link plays. And that's it for the monsters, guys. Some spells running 3 copies of Call by the Grave. So with Call by the Grave, if your opponent tries to hand trap you, especially during your Jet Synchron combo, which is very, very tricky, Call by the Grave will just shut it down, so they can't do that. Because you target 1 monster in the graveyard and banish it and negate its effects. So because your hand traps normally discard themselves to activate, it stops it. I will be perfectly honest, there's only 2 hand traps that does stop the combo, even if Call by the Grave is in your hand, and that's Nibiru or Infinite Impertinence. You can't do anything to stop them, unfortunately, unless you have like Infinity on the field before you do your combo, and then you don't particularly care because Infinity will shut it down. But it's not perfect. And then 2 copies of Instant Fusion. We've got 2 copies, and that is Panzer Dragon and 1000 Dice Restrict. So I like to add 2 in just because we can kind of get like, so you can see it more often. So then Infinity isn't just basically, oh, you might be able to summon it. It just increases the chances of getting that Infinity. You have to pay 1000 life points, but Panzer Dragon can, and a Quick Draw goes into Infinity. And you can also use 1000 Eyes to steal your opponent's monsters and then just link it away into another monster or link it away into a Link Rebo. Monster Reborn is just a combo extender. If you want to have that extra effect monster, go ahead, go into like an Anaconda or go into like your Masquerade and all that lot to just basically extend your plays. And then Neo's Fusion, this bad boy is like a Red Eyes Fusion but better. Because you special summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that lists Elemental Hero Neos, like Rainbow Neos does. You get send those monsters from your hand, deck, or graveyard, ignoring its summon conditions, but you can't special summon for the rest of the turn after you use this card. So it's like Anaconda, because if you use Anaconda's effect, you can't special summon for the turns. For the rest of the turn after you play that effect, but you can do all you want beforehand. Unlike Neos, Red Eyes Fusion, it's locks you out of summoning. So if you summon before, you can't play Red Eyes Fusion. Neos Fusion doesn't have that restriction. You could do the full combo with your Jet Synchron for your Borrow Load, and then play Neos Fusion to get a Rainbow Neos on top of it. Kind of broken. We've got 1 copy of 1 for 1, just helps get our Jet Synchron as well. And also, if you want, just by sending a card to the graveyard, boom, like any monster. Say for instance, your only monster in your hand is Despot 001. Just send to the graveyard, summon that Jet Synchron, boom, full combo. Literally as simple as that. And it's just, and also again, if you've already done your combo and you want to get that free special summon, just gets another monster on the field to extend into the Anaconda or IP Masquerade plays. Then 2 copies of Desires. If you want to, you can play this card, or you don't have to run it. I just kind of like, it's just valuable to get those extra draws. Yes, you don't particularly want to play this if you do before you do your combo, because obviously you want to get your full. You want to not make sure you get rid of O-Lion before you do that combo. Or the other main ones you don't want to get rid of is either Neos Fusion, Rainbow Dragon, or Neos Spore. Hey, sometimes you've got to play risky for big rewards. So you banish the top 10 cards of your deck to draw 2 cards. Really vital. And then we're using 1 copy of Terraforming. Terraforming searches out Trickstar Light Stage, which will in turn searches out Candina. So Terraforming is just a free way of it's just basically an extra monster, because it just searches out the Candina, which will then search out the Lilybell, which then goes into Anaconda, or from Terraforming. And from Trickstar Light Stage, when this card is activated, you can add a Trickstar monster from your deck to your hand. So it searches out Candina, or it can search out Lilybell if you already have access to Candina. And so basically, this one card can search out the Candina, which can then, as say, go into Rainbow Neo. So it's just like it just makes it more reliable to go into Anaconda with just like, so it's not like, oh, you're only running 2 Candina, you're actually running 4 Candina because of Terraforming and Night Sage. It's limited to 1, unfortunately, and it does also have a decent effect actually, where you can target 1 set card on your opponent's field, spell or trap, sorry, and you can negate its effect onto the turn's end phase. But if your opponent can activate it or chain, or they can still play it. But the main problem is that if you can lock one of your opponent's set cards, then they can't play it. You can play it until the turn's end phase. It just kind of eases it up. And then 3 copies of Tuning. It searches out Jet Synchron and Quick Draw. So basically you're running, so for just the Jet Synchron combo alone, you're running 3 Jet Synchron, 3 Tuning, 2 Mathematician, and 1 for 1. You're running 9 cards out of a 31 card deck that have access to Jet Synchron. Absolutely insane to go for that combo. And if you've already done the combo, you can just get another Jet Synchron and just go into Link Rebo, or just help you extend your plays. It's really easy to get out a level or a Link 2 monster with just a single Jet Synchron. And with Tuning can also search out the Quick Draw if you want to go for like the Infinity plays. The downside is if you play Tuning, it does send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. So if you didn't have the Jet Synchron in your opening hand and you search out the Jet Synchron, there is that slight chance you will send O-Line to the graveyard, which will lock you out of doing that whole combo. But you have to take a risk. If you really don't want to do it, just adding another copy of O-Line. And then we're having one copy of Upstart Goblin, just makes the deck a little bit easier. Draw that extra card in case you need it. For instance, if you just need, like you're just missing that Jet Synchron, or you're just missing that Candina, or you see what I mean, you're just missing a key card to start off your combos. It just helps you get access to it. We're running 3 copies of Infinite Impertinence. It's also a hand trap, guys, because if you have no cards in your hand, you can play no cards on the field, you can activate this card from your hand. This card is basically a trap version of Effect Veiler, but kind of better because Effect Veiler can only affect monsters during the main phase 1, or during the main phase. Infinite Impertinence can activate whenever it wants, even during the battle phase. It also has a decent effect if it's set. So if it's set and activated, if your opponent activates a spell or trap in the same column as this card, it negates the effect, which is absolutely mind-boggling. And then finally, the one copy of Trickstar Reincarnation. It's limited to 1, guys. Basically, its effect is you can banish your opponent's entire hand, and if you do, they draw the same number of cards. So if they've like searched out a key card, I don't know, like they play Cyber Emergency to add the Cyber Dragon core. Just play Trickstar Reincarnation, banish the core. So then that, where you've already 1 core down, there's only 2 more left to go. It just, like, your opponent's going to try and add cards to their hand, you just get rid of it, so then it stops them from doing their combos. And also has a graveyard effect where you can banish this card from your grave and resurrect a Trickstar from the graveyard. So again, just makes it's just basically a free effect, free monster from the graveyard when you want to go into like higher link plays. And that's it for the deck, guys. Going on to the extra deck, we are running Panther Dragon and Thousand Eyes Restrict. I say these two are the instant fusion targets. So Panther Dragon, you're never going to play its effect. You're literally just going to play it for to go into Nova, which then in turn bring out Infinity. As for the Thousand Eyes Restrict, its effect is you can target 1 monster on your opponent's side of the field. Thousand Eyes Restrict absorbs it, and then that just gets rid of the pesky card your opponent has. Then you just link array the Thousand Eyes straight into like a Link Karibo or like a Masquerena or something, and then that way you get around the destruction effect of Instant Fusion. The other fusion we're running is Rainbow Neos. You summon it with Neos Fusion. This bad boy is, oh my god, insane, because he has 4,500 attack points, huge beat stick. He has 3 effects depending on what you want to do. If you send a monster to the graveyard, or you control to the graveyard, he shuffles all monsters your opponent controls into the deck. And none of these effects target, by the way. So if they have like an Avamax that's been used with Masquerena, so it can't be destroyed in card effects, can't be targeted by card effects, it can still be affected by Rainbow Neos' effect, because Rainbow Neos doesn't target. If you send a spell or trap card you control to the graveyard, you shuffle all spell and trap cards your opponent controls into the deck. So if you get into a back heavy row deck, I don't know, like control decks, shuffle them all back up, you don't want to see them. And if you send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, you can shuffle all cards your opponent has in their grave into the deck. So a lot of decks will use the graveyard as like a second hand. Like Salon Greats really love this, really will hate this Rainbow Neos. Dark Magicians kind of, because obviously you have your Eternal Souls that resurrects from the graveyard kind of, so that it there's that. You see what I mean? Anything that relies on the graveyard, it just shuffles it back in, that way they can't do anything. Synchros, guys, we're only running a Borrowload, Savage Dragon and Herald of the Arclight. Both are summoned from the Jet Synchro combo. So with Borrowload, you can target, when it's synchro summoned, you target 1 link monster in your graveyard, equip it to Borrowload, it gains a counter for each of that monster's link rating, also it gains half of its attack. So with the Jet Synchron combo, he will gain half of Aurora Dawn's attack points, which will make him up to 4,050 attack points. Also, he will have 3 counters. And basically his effect is, when your opponent activates a card effect, so as a monster effect, a spell, or a trap, he will negate the effect simply by removing a counter. So he's kind of like a 3-stage Omni Negate that can activate once per turn, which is kind of insane. And then as for Herald of the Arclight, again, you're going to summon it via your combo. When a spell or trap or monster effect is activated, you can tribute Herald of the Arclight, destroy 1 card your opponent, and so negate the activation of that effect, and destroy the card. So unlike Bolo that doesn't destroy, Herald does, which is kind of decent. And also Herald has a field effect where any monster sent from the main deck or graveyard is banished instead. Or like from the hand or deck to the graveyard is banished instead. So if your opponent tries to hand trap you, it will go to the grave. It'll be banished instead of going to the graveyard. If they like, I don't know, mill their deck out, like you know how like decks, I don't know, like what is it, Miss Worm that sends the top 5 cards of your deck to the grave. If any of them are monsters, they're going to be banished instead. You see what I mean? A lot of it just banishes a lot of key cards, so your opponent can't like play Foolish Burial, because if they play Foolish Burial, they're going to banish the card, not send it to the graveyard. So it does shut down a lot of key cards. And then as for the Exceeders, we're running Nova, which you need Nova to go into Infinity. So I'm not going to go into a Nova, only that you need 2 machine monsters. That's why you're either using 2 quick draws or a quick draw and a Panzer Dragon. So with Infinity, you summon it by overlaying Nova into this. He will gain 200 attack points for each of his materials. So if you did it during the anyway, you'll be up to 2,700 attack points, I think. When you can target 1 face-up monster on the field, and that's in attack mode, equip it to Infinity as an overlay unit, so gain 200 more attack points and another negate. For its effect is, should your opponent activate a monster, trap, or spell, you can negate the activation by simply just sending a overlay unit to the graveyard. So between Infinity, Herald, and Barrel Load, you have 3 Omni negates. And if you think about this, you have Infinite Impertinence, which is a monster negate, and you have Caught by the Grave, which can banish your traps, and you have Ash Blossom, which stops your opponent from searching. And I'm going on to the links, guys. We're running Barrel Sword Dragon, sorry, nearly said Barrel Load. Barrel Sword Dragon for it can't be destroyed in battle. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 attack mode monster, change into defense mode. Barrel Sword can attack twice during that turn. Also, because it's a quick effect, you can do it during your opponent's turn. So, if you want to play a little bit defensively, you can swap their monster's defense mode so they can't attack into Barrel Sword. And if this card attacks a monster, it gains half that monster's attack and makes that monster lose half its attack. But which is you're only using this card if you really want to go for a quick OTK. 1 copy of Crystalline Needle Fiber. It's limited to 1, otherwise I'd want 2 to make this deck more reliable, unfortunately, but you can only 1 run. So when this card is link summon using a tuner, because you do need to use a tuner to link summon this card, you special summon another tuner from your deck. That's level 1 or 3, so like I say, you're just going to use this card to extend, to go into Auroradon, and then just do your normal combo. Then we're using 1 copy of IP Masquerena, because should, for instance, your Crystalline Needle Fiber combo goes, if your opponent does negate it, you've got something to fall back on. So for Masquerena, you're going to use her to link summon either into Unicorn or to go into Avamax. So if Masquerena is used for link summoning, the monster can't be destroyed. So, and also her effect is you can link summon during your opponent's turn as well, which is really good. So for Unicorn, when it's link summoned, you can discard 1 card, target 1 card in the field, return it to the deck. So if you you can do it with Masquerena and any one of your other monsters. Go into Unicorn. Should your opponent normal summon, bounce it into the deck. That way they've used up the normal summon. If they've, I don't know, summoned out a bit like a good monster, bounce it back into the deck. Really comes in handy, Unicorn. Link Karibo, as I say, you use it to get the Jet Synchron into the graveyard, then you resurrect Jet Synchron. That's why you use it. It's also good for 1000 Ice Restrict as well. Auroradon is absolute beast. When this guy is link summoned, you get special summon 3 Mecha Phantom Beast tokens. Because you summoned 3 tokens at the field at once, that triggers Despot 001's ability from activating, and it has 3 effects based on what you want to do. If you do summon the tokens, you can't link summon for the rest of the turn, but you're not going to when you go into your synchros. So if you tributed 1 token, you can destroy 1 card on the field, which is very nice. If you sacrifice 2 tokens, summon a Mecha Phantom Beast monster from your deck. So this is the effect you're mainly going to activate. You don't use its 3rd effect, you're really just going to use its 2nd effect. So you'll tribute itself and a token to summon out O-Line from the deck. Because it says only from the deck, that's why I'm saying O-Line is a Garnet, because if it's in your hand, Auroradon cannot special summon O-Line. And then 1 copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Crucelia Avamax. Absolute beast card, guys. It can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects. Also, if you used it with IP Masquerena, it can't be destroyed by card effects. So can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, which is a really great effect. Also, it has an effect where if it battles a special summoned monster, which majority of in the cards in this game are, Avamax can gain that monster's attack. So it's really tricky to get over this card. It really is if you use it with IP Masquerena. And even if you do manage to get around Avamax, like if it's destroyed, you can target one card your opponent has on their field and shuffle it into the deck, which is really great. And then finally, one copy of Verte Anaconda. You need 2 effect monsters summoned into this bad boy, which is really, really easy. You send 2,000 life points to send 1 fusion card from our deck to the graveyard and basically activate that card. So you can send an instant fusion if you've normal summoned a quick draw to go into Panzer Dragon if you really want, but it's kind of useless because Verte Anaconda will lock you out of special summoning after you use his effect. So the main target you want is to send Neos Fusion to the graveyard, because if you do, then you can summon out the Rainbow Neos, particularly the reason why you're going to play it. And with that, guys, that's it for the deck. I do hope you enjoyed it. It's actually a very fun deck to play. I really do enjoy playing this deck. We'll get on with the list again, and if you enjoy it, hit that thumbs up. Makes me see if you enjoy this deck. And wherever you are, guys, in the world, stay healthy, stay safe, and please take care. Goodbye.
強がりの裏側に弱さを隠してた逃げないよこれからはもう一度あの空へ作り上げても壊してまた作って何百回も上げね投げでも負けるたびに濡れすぎてた認められたくて空回って強がり見せたところでそれじゃ自分が嬉しくなるだけじゃない行こうか It's time to wake up 目を覚ますな強さを make up Forget the fear and doubt You gotta body it up 一か八かさアンスも不確か定めなんて怖